Hello, everyone, and welcome back for this little segment between games because we had a long game. We're going to chill out a little bit. We're going to step back from the nitty gritty League of Legends, and instead, we are going to quiz these two on how well they know each other. This is the newly duo game. You might have heard of it. So, for today, I am going to ask Desirex questions about Joshi, something that is opinionated, something that is how Joshi is going to be seeing this game, these teams. Desirex, we're going to see how well you know him. Does this make sense, y'all?
Ooh.
This makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. We've been a duo for like what 3 years now, Josh. We should know each other quite
At least. Okay.
All right. Well,
All right, what do we got?
Joshi, I'm going to have you write your answers down. And Desirex, don't say anything quite yet. I know that you lost your Sharpie, so we're going to have you vocally answer these. But we're going to do that on my cue, okay? So first off, Joshi, I want you to write down what player on CLG and Immortals, mind you, because I do want to keep it a little related, are you most excited about heading into Summer Split? I'll give you a few seconds to write down your answer.
I have a question. We're not including the subs, right? We are including the main roster.
It's main roster.
Okay.
Main roster.
Okay.
All right, Joshi,
right. Doesn't
you
change
got
my
it?
answer. I'm ready.
Doesn't
I'm
change.
ready.
All right,
Okay.
Desirex, what player do you think it is?
If he doesn't say this, I'm gonna be so upset. Bob Jenkins.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes. All right.
You got me.
First one, congratulations. All right. Second question. Which player, according to Joshi, had the best performance this game?
Oh, okay. This one might be a little bit tougher.
Think about this.
This is.
I'm trying to make them a little bit more difficult. You two slayed the game earlier. This one I might be able to trip you two up on. Joshi, let me know when you got your answer.
It's going to be personal questions. I thought we were like,
right.
some like, date screening going on here.
All right. Desirex, which player, according to Joshi, had the best performance this game?
This is a tough one. There's two that come to mind. Pretty.
Yeah, you got it. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
2 for 2.
2 for
Let's
2.
Go.
Okay.
That's my duo.
Let's go. All right. So why did Pretty, in your guys' eyes, have this best performance? You two were aligned on, Joshi, you knew what was up. Why did Pretty have this best performance?
He definitely felt like the person who was the most calm and collected throughout the game. And the big reason why I wanted to go for him was, one, he had a really dominant laning phase that we kind of glossed over because we didn't necessarily see him get any kills with it early on. But later on, he was constantly in good places. He was consistently creating pressure in the game and putting CLG in uncomfortable situations. And eventually, when he gets rewarded for it by picking off Luger, that's when Immortals skyrocketed into the lead.
And keep in mind, he did this against Triple, who was playing on his main champion, Ari. So it's an impressive feat.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, now to continue with the game. Okay, which player had the most surprising performance? This could be good. This could be negative. What were you most surprised about for a player performance heading into this game?
I think I got this.
Could be someone you had high expectations for, someone you had no expectations for.
You already ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
You had that right away.
Vital.
All right, Desirex, which was it? Hey, yo!
Vital.
At 3 for 3, my boy is ready.
All right. Vital seemed to be popping off. And as you said, this is first Academy performance, Desirex. That's impressive.
Very much so. First day on the stage, sometimes the nerves get to you, but not to Vital. He was able to show up, and against Jenkins on top of that, pristine.
Yeah, just honestly, the way that he was able to actually do anything in his first game as a solo queue player is not particularly common amongst a lot of rookie players. And the fact that he was able to actually have significant contributions and step up as that third carry that they really needed in order to end the game was quite impressive on somebody that we hadn't really seen. I was really looking at Fiora Gangplank. He wasn't on either of those characters, and he still had a great game.
Yeah, and if that's what we're going to see out of the first game, I'm pretty pumped to see what's going to go down in the second game. All right, headed back to the game, a little bit more of a general scope. Joshi's favorite play of this game?
Oh
Okay.
man,
This has been a
you-
flawless game
how
so
you doing?
far, so no pressure, no pressure.
Favorite play? Oh
Favorite play.
no.
I know
No,
this is where things get a little tricky.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm gonna say, okay, right. He's got to write it down. Luckily, you did.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
you're
it
good.
was the pretty flank.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh,
4 in a row.
wow. Oh, this is impressive. Okay. This is some
Eric
good
knows me too
stuff.
well
4
at
out of
this
4.
point.
I
Yeah.
know, right? I'm a little surprised. I knew you two knew each other. I didn't know quite this well. All right. Second last question. Which player is next to make it to LCS? And I will say Jenkins is not allowed to be an answer for this one.
Drink is not allowed to be an answer.
Yeah.
That is a tougher one. That is a tough. Think about that one for a moment.
You're
And of
saying
course,
between IMT and
he
CLG,
said
right?
between these two teams.
Ooh.
I can't answer Luger either.
Now that you said it,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
you
it's
can't.
kind of cheating, man.
Okay. Okay.
It's a tough one.
Let me.
You good?
Let me write it down. Hold on.
Again,
Okay.
two come to mind.
I'm ready.
All right, Deserex, give it your best shot. Flawless game so far, no pressure.
Pretty.
Oh, let's go! That's 5 in a row.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
Exactly. It's
All right,
exactly.
and
This
now-
is like 3 years together.
I know, it's insane. We got the
feel it, I
bonus
can feel
round
it.
now, though, okay? Bonus rounds.
Uh-oh.
5 out of 5. What is your couple caster duo name, according to Joshi? You know, the couple name, Bradlina, stuff like that. The couple caster duo name.
Oh god. Okay, one of these
I'll be
sounds better than the
absolutely-
other.
I will be absolutely blown away if you actually get this one right. That'll be...
Oh. I have 2 answers for this.
Oh.
He's writing for a while, so I think it's the second answer.
Oh, I like that you already know him on that level. That was already something. He could just be really thinking, really giving it a good
Okay, I'm ready.
think.
Okay,
You
okay,
ready? All right.
Okay.
Wait,
Let's
one
see
sec,
it. The
one second.
bonus
Let me make
round.
one-
Oh, 1 second. Okay. This is for all the marbles. This has been a flawless game so far. 5 out of 5 talking about these teams. But when it comes down to what really matters
Okay.
most, are you going to rise up to the challenge? Deserix, what is it?
Right there. That, hold on, let me get that on the camera. That is Walmart Jat, and this is Hispanic Freak. That is my guess.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Speechless.
I love you, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely incredible. I only hope I can get anywhere near as close. Next
You gotta
time we
watch
play.
it too.
Woo!
I can't believe it. Honestly, I thought I had you two there. Honestly, that was wow. I wish I had a hat right now so I could
what
tip
was-
it off to you two. That was amazing.
What was your other guess, Eric?
Joe Chiracs.
Let's go! He gets that one too!
Y'all are
Okay.
y'all are so cute. Y'all are so cute. And we are gonna do this again tomorrow, but with Joshi answering for Desiree. So I'm gonna make sure that I like amp up these questions, make things really difficult because I love
no.
the synergy. I love that this was flawless between you two, but this is a little too good. And I'm looking to try and cause some troubles in your caster marriage.
Uh-oh.
Or what would you call it? So be prepared, all right?
No one can get between us, Sierra. It's not happening. We've been together for 3 years. It's gonna be forever.
No one can get
Forever at this
between.
point.
What was the couple name again, Deserts? What is this?
Hispanic Freak and Walmart Chat.
Lovely. But
I-
congratulations. You two have been
I wanna-
crushing this.
I want to place a little bit of context. We were both on Twitch Rivals once, and for some reason, the Twitch chat just kept calling me Hispanic Freak over and over and over again. And now it's just kind of stuck around. So
It's the dumb
Whatever.
puns, man.
We take those. We take those.
We take what we can get out here. Honestly, respectable.
No, we've just got a sudden influx of bald play-by-play casters with facial hair, and suddenly, you were just quite fitting the bill. That's exactly what we needed more of on the Academy screen.
You need Candace
That's
for
exactly
the,
what they were
Legend
looking
of
at.
There you
Yeah,
go.
when they're looking at who to add to Academy, who else who's bald and does play-by-play that we could add? I obviously couldn't fit that bill, but guys, I'm glad you're here. Always good to have more bald play-by-play casters out in the wild. But no, that was a lot of fun. There's a game shortly, but I do like that we got to have that break because that was a long game that we had to start things off for today between CLG and Immortals. 45 minutes, Joji?
It is something like that. It was at least 40 was the last time that I actually checked the clock, and it was just a situation where at that point the game is just, grueling. And that's the kind of thing that you have to really look at some of the younger players and ask, are they going to be able to replicate that same kind of thing on the next game? Because for many of them, I know he has had a little bit of opportunity to play with Glacial Esports, but this is his first time doing it on an even bigger stage. Is he ready to just go right back on into it? Let's hope so.
That a little bit of that nerves as well as that stamina to whether you can get out of a really long game and replicate that performance. Desrex, do you have these same worries? Do you think they'll be able to overcome that?
I do think there's potential for that. I mean, let's look at this match as a whole, right? If I'm looking at Vital and the way he performed, it was definitely a lot of slip-ups early. And there are players out there, especially in Academy, who can capitalize on that much better than Jenkins can. So I think it's a great start for Vital, but he's got a lot he needs to touch up on. It's not good enough to just have a strong late game. You need to work on that laning.
Yeah. You got to make
just
sure
one
that
of those things too that there's like that promise. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? You got to get to that late game, right? If you can get there, you're golden. But just like a Kale in your average game, your first couple of levels, you need to be able to do something there as well. And so we saw Jenkins have a lot of control. We saw Luger have a lot of control in that game as well. Unfortunately, they weren't able to necessarily capitalize on it in order to bring it to the end. And that's where we start looking at the rest of the pieces. Can Rosethorn take a little bit more control over the mid game and actually set up their side laners to have all the success necessary? Rosethorn was on the Jarvan, and we only saw like one or two ultimates that were really in a position to help the rest of his team really capitalize.
Yeah, well, the fact too that we do have a team that is running with a couple of subs going into this first week here, Desrex, how much of an impact do you think that is really making as well? Because that is also a little bit of a difficult blow to be taking in comparison to some of these teams that get to practice with that full roster.
Yeah. Practicing with full roster does mean a lot. You're trying to find out the inner workings of how people click, how they work on a team, how their macro and micro is, and how to respond to it. So it is a bit of a stubbed pinky toe to come into your first week with just having some of your roster gone. That being said, though, they still had a pretty solid performance, all things considered. And as we're going into game 2, I can only imagine this is still up in the air which way it could go.
Yeah, we'll have to see now that they have the first game under their belt, even if not the desired result, if we could see something else form together over in game 2. It is time for the champ select, see who's going to be coming out on top in our second match. I'll see you two later. Have fun.
Bye, Sierra.
All right. Thank you, Sierra. As always, as we get into our final match of the day, Immortal CLG game number 2, I'm going to be interested in some of the adaptions here. I feel like Pretty was too powerful on that LeBlanc, and normally I don't say just go straight for the ban, but man, he looked unstoppable. I think that is something you might want to consider if you're CLG.
For sure, and we already talked about the different things that Vital likes to play, right? We keep coming back to Fiora Gangplank, but both of them were banned last time around, one of them by Immortals, one of them by CLG. So the question is going to be, what is they actually going to prioritize if one of them are left up? Because if Immortals aren't going to be banning either Fiora or Gangplank, then it can go over, and there's lots of opportunities for this rookie player to showcase why he was picked up in the first place on one of his signature champions. And CLG, they can't ban both of them from this position, so Immortals are guaranteed one. Oh, as soon as I say that, they ban away the Gangplank, and now CLG can ban the Fiora. Come on. What's happening?
Timer's on. I want to see if the Fiora is going to go through. That would be something interesting to get one of those highlight champions. We've seen it from time to time. We talked about Jenkins and his cannon. There's Viper and the Riven. It's always fun seeing those pocket picks, as the Senna is going to be the final ban. So this does leave the Fiora on the table. I'm not sure if it's B1 capable. No, instead, just going to go for the Talia.
Yeah, Talia very strong. We saw it come out to big effect in our first game, right? Our Mayo was actually the pilot of that champion, and he had a pretty good performance finding a number of solo kills. And so we know that this can go to Chad. We know it can go to Pretty. Pretty tends to pick up his champions much later in the game, but because it's flexible, they do have a lot of freedom going for what it is that they choose to go for. At the same time, CLG now know that picking too many mobility spells and dashing over that can create a huge problem. So we'll see how they do choose to tackle that, because Talia is so safe and creates so much pressure on the map just existing in the lane.
The response is going to be some pretty strong presence in the mid game as they do lock in Lucian. Now, again, it is flexible. We just saw in the series prior that Lucian was in the mid lane, so you can take it around into different lanes if you want. Viego is something that was left on the table, so Rosethorn happy to take that one away, as it's something that Chad is very good at.
Yeah, we know that Chad has gone for quite a bit, and Rosethorn was one of the players that was able to pioneer this relatively early on. He had a lot of opportunities to play it, and it is telling to me that they aren't going to be putting him back on the Jarvan. They're not going to be putting on something that has the same amount of early game agency. Instead, something that can brawl a little bit more, but Immortals ready to throw hands. They pick up the Kalista and Renata, an incredibly powerful early game pair that can do a ton of early damage. The passive between the W on Kalista and Renata's passive means that they do so much extra just percent HP damage every single time they're auto-attacking the same target. So they can really crush down single targets incredibly quickly.
And just these 3 picks coming out from Immortals, it's a lot of strength.
Give it to me!
Power cannon! Yes, yes, yes! Jenkins is pulling out the cannon for the first time in the summer, and I am way too excited to see it. I gotta hold my thought real quick because I did want to finish up what I was saying. Immortals are pretty short range with the draft that they've taken so far, and now that we have a cannon, gotta pay respects to it. The slicing Maelstrom can eat that apart.
The first thing Jenkins ever said to me was, we asked him, was like, what do they got to do against you, man, in order to win? Just got to ban the cannon, right? He was able to win basically every matchup we've ever seen on this champion. He is so good at it, and it's one of the things that there's not a lot of other players that really bring this character to the forefront. So now that it is going to be going on to Jenkins, it is his probably most played character ever, would be my guess. And now that it's going to be going up against Vital, a relative rookie, what is Vital going to be willing to play into it? Because it's not something that you encounter all that often on the solo queue ladder either.
That is a very, very curious one. Even with the flexibility of CLG's draft, it is way too obvious that this cannon is going to the top side just because Jenkins is Jenkins. And with that, you do have a lot of solo lane flexibility out of CLG, whereas Immortals are a little bit more dedicated into their positions going into the second phase of the draft.
And as we've seen, the Wukong is going to get banned out against Chad. There's a lot of opportunities to actually bring things through that you wouldn't necessarily expect, because a lot of the tippy top of the tiers have been taken off. Gwen is still decent as a pickup for IMT, but it's not actually a good pick going up into the cannon. You just get ranged out, and because your W is so long that Hallowed Mist only protects you once every, I think it's like 20 seconds. Cannon has the other 20 seconds where it's down to just hit you over and over again, and the Q does so much damage. There's a lot of opportunities for CLG to be really, really scary, and this Lucian getting picked up, it could be going over to triple, it could be going to Luger, and with the Lulu behind it, you suddenly have 2 characters who are so good at using both the Lulu steroids.
So good indeed. Now Immortals are considering what do they want to take to that top side to try and contest Jenkins on this cannon. I do want to put this on a side note though. Jenkins historically has been fantastic on cannon. This season hasn't had the best displays over on CLG. Played it 3 times, wasn't able to get a win on it. Hopefully that's going to break that. And, a spicy pick comes out as Immortals going straight for the Aatrox and hovering the Rengar for now, as they do have the Talia locked in. So we'll see if this actually does go through. I really doubt. And come on. Enough with the Yuumi. Enough with the Yuumi.
Joey's a troll. Okay.
Rengar's going in.
Time. Okay. Ooh.
One cat to the other.
Ooh, that is pretty exciting. Now, we know this is going to be going over to Chad just because of the champions they've already picked up, but that is a lot of short-range characters that are going to get caught in this slicing Maelstrom, so they're going to have to be very careful on how they choose to fan out and create a lot of pressure on the map, how they spread and make sure that they can all hit while not getting hit by the slicing Maelstrom all at the same time. I feel like this is a really tough ask for a lot of newer teams, because again, I've been talking to some of the players and they were saying this kind of spread out kind of playstyle is really tough to do correctly, especially if you haven't practiced it with your team over and over again. And this is something where you add a lot of chaos with the Rengar into it. Suddenly, Immortals are asking a lot of their team, but if they're willing to do it, they must have practiced it.
Oh, I gotta see it. I gotta see if this is practice, Josh. Is this going to be a 2-0? Can Immortals take this away? Or is the power of Kennen, Bob Jenkins, is it too strong, Josh? Only time will tell on that one, because I'm itching for this game to head right into the Rift.
Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing, but I am getting word that this Rengar pick was teased a little bit in the past. So as we get more word on that, we will see a little bit more. I know there have been murmurings about like tank versions of Rengar. I know Roth is a big fan of playing like Divine Sunderer Rengar, much to my chagrin, but it is something that they will be willing to do. And as he runs directly onto the Rift, he's got the lethal tempo coming through. I don't know if I've seen that one before.
Interesting. Coming on. Okay, Chad. I see you going very, very ruthless with some of these builds he's going on his rune page. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see how this is going to play out all together, because there's a lot of potential for a big amount of damage coming out from the Rengar. You get too close to the bush, and it comes out in no time whatsoever, and you're able to double up quite quickly with the auto reset when you do pop your Q. So I do see some potential in there.
Yeah. I mean, it has definitely become more popular now that I'm looking at it in the last years. Typically, it was like Electrocute or Conqueror, but now it's starting to become way more common. So we'll see what Chad actually wants to do with this. He was very successful at going for the very beginning of the game when he got that first level 1 off, and now they're going for a late invade.
Late invade around the blue buff. No one's going to be there to get caught by it. It's only going to be an easy blue buff steal coming out from Immortals in this early game. And standard, real standard for Chad to just go for these invades and steal away whatever camp he can from his opposing jungler.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Look, Joey and Arrow, they're doing the thing where they go back around. They want to make sure that they don't give over the secret that they were going for the invade. So cool play really starting to come through. And I'm getting word that this might be a different version of Rengar than we were initially expecting to see, so I'm excited to see what they are able to execute with this, because he's going to be taking away 2 camps right away. They're going to be looking for opportunities to make sure they bamboozle Rosethorn.
There's so much going on with this latest patch, 12.10, and this durability update, and so many changes that have just shook up everything in the midseason. Chad kind of putting on display as he returns back to his jungle after that invade. Rosethorn, not sure if he's too wise to it, but look at this play going out in the bot lane. Breezy and Luger doing battle with Arrow and Joey as it's shades of game number 1 once again.
Yeah, we're seeing Joey try and do the same thing that Ayla did, but Luger had his flash available, so that is a flash trade, and that does mean that Luger has to be very careful going in relatively soon. But Rosethorn is going directly in for an invade of his own. He's going to run into Chad.
He's a little bit angry about that blue buff steal, and will get a steal with the Raptor camp itself. Just the big Raptors, so yeah, pretty sure Chad was the wiser to it. I mean, he did see the stealth get applied, but now Rosethorn is rotating towards the bot lane. There were some pings right there, seeing that Rosethorn was over at the Raptor camp, so calling off Chad is doing right now, telling them, hey, he might be in this bush, he might be there. Check out before you go back to your lane.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I wish I could be in chat right now just so I could listen to whether or not like Rosethorn is surprised by this, because I don't know if they ever found out previously, right? They knew he was on the red buff at some point, but as he goes to clear it out, it feels like a similar advantage for Chad. He really started figuring out how to do a lot of these level 1 invades last year. He started paying attention to the fact that like Lee Sin couldn't use the yellow trinket, so you could just go cheese people at their first buff if they were playing Lee, and now it's the exact same kind of thing. But what will he choose to do with this advantage that he's picked up so far?
I'm dying to know. It's been way too long since I've seen a Rengar. Looking at the top lane, Jenkins and Vital still swinging at it. I'm always waiting for that stun to come through, because it can be so deceptive how quickly you can get a stun off onto Kennen, especially if you bluff that final auto charge. Just pop it off with the shuriken right after. It's a very, very quick engage to get, and Rosethorn is now setting up towards this bottom side, potentially looking for a dive.
Okay, well, he just announced his presence, so Vital should know, but it might not matter. Chad's not there.
And he hasn't crashed the wave into the tower yet. With the new wave coming in, it's still not going to hit the tower. So this is a tough dive to pull off, but still staying there is Rosethorn.
Yeah, Rosethorn sticking around, knows that he doesn't really have a whole lot to actually go for, and Joey is already here. Look at this attention from Immortals towards the top side.
All right, here comes Rosethorn, going to take a few tower shots to get over here and help out Jenkins, but here comes Chad. Jenkins is now running to his tower. Chad going to flash forward with the bola, gets the damage first blood coming out for Immortals, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Now Rosethorn hops right out of the bush, taking that Rengar form, but sees Joey right there. Kitty Cat wants none of that.
Very small damage miscalculation coming out from Chad means that there will, in fact, be a trade kill coming through. Rosethorn trades right on back, but Vital, now that he has this kill lead going up against Jenkins, can use it to try and snowball this lane a little bit. He was suffering in CS, kind of like we were expecting, but now that he has this first kill, we'll see where he goes back and buys. The rest of the map is relatively standard, but as we take a look at this replay, notice how close Chad really is to actually picking up this first kill. If he doesn't end up going down and having to take an extra turret shot to secure the kill on the Jenkins, I'm pretty sure they both get out and they just have an opportunity to turn on Rosethorn.
And that would have been absolutely huge over on this top side where you have this Aatrox and Rengar together. Now, quick flash play, already has full charges, gets that Snare Bola strike. For Jenkins on that. Kennon's not looking too good in the early games.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Like, Kennon is not the worst early laner. In fact, he's pretty good because of his range, but now Vital has to run.
All right, Vital trying to get out of there. Pops the World Ender on top of it. Now in the bot lane, Chad looking for a gank. Goes after Breezy, gets the Bola right onto Luger. Now going after Breezy, who falls lower, hopping in his arrow. The Rend comes in, takes down Breezy. Chad A-okay as he gets out from that gank in the bot lane.
He's already a fair amount ahead of Rosethorn in terms of actual farm. Now he can choose to pick up this dragon or go into the enemy jungle. He's going to be picking up the dragon, and Rosethorn going to try and make another dive happen. No, he's just going to be taking away a couple of camps, but it is still a very different style. Remember how we were talking about how Armail and Acadian were always right next to each other when the fights were happening? This time it's been entirely opposite sides, and Rosethorn looking for a dive.
Ooh, Slicing Maelstrom comes out, so much crowd control. Vital can do nothing but watch in paralysis. The response out of Immortals is to grab the Drake, though, put some attention into the mid lane, but CLG really playing towards this top side with Rosethorn.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy like how much attention is coming through at this point. Rosethorn, we said he was going to look for early ganks in the first game. Now he's doing it much more effectively in the second game, and again, it's a trade, right? He's giving up his entire bottom side jungle once again. Chad was able to take away the blue buff when they first came through, and he's going to continue building up this CS advantage. And if Rengar gets enough of that extra money, it's going to be absolutely brutal for the rest of CLG to try and deal with.
Man, no more interrupted recalls. We've been seeing them all day, Josh.
All day.
Everyone kind of BMing each other with those uninterrupted recalls. Joey, bad place to back, man. It was on top of a ward. Going to be a little bit of a stagger coming out here, which is a little bit unfortunate for Arrow, but not going to be too big of a punish as you are still getting the reset from the bot lane CLG.
As they complete their reset, we do have to note that once again, despite the fact that they've gone down, despite the fact that Breezy has died, the gold is effectively even because of the way that the CSing has actually gone between the two AD carries. Luger is only down about 100 gold despite a kill going over to Arrow. He's going to be very strong, and this is something that we know Luger to do. When he first came to Academy, there was a conversation about whether or not it should have been him or Cowrie who was picked up in the first place. When Luger went to LCS and Cowrie came into Academy, there was a question of whether or not Cowrie or Luger was the one who was supposed to be taking that spot. And so far, Luger's been proving that he deserves his spot in LCS, and now coming down into Academy, he was one of the big reasons why CLG stayed in the game. Even now, as this wave comes in, he should be able to equalize a lot of the gold deficit that the kill actually gave over.
You can tell that the bot lane of Immortals are still itching for some type of engage, though. They know how strong this Kalista can be in the early game, especially if you get those Ren stacks in.
Yeah.
You know, with the lethal tempo to get that attack speed boost to make sure that's a thing. Look at this coming out of Pretty, who's coming over towards the bottom lane. Looking to put down the Weavers well, but CLG's bot lane will back out. Calling for reinforcements as Rosethorn and Triple are going to show.
Yeah, good play coming through from the side of Immortals. Deny a couple of minions and just create pressure and give 2 plates over to the Immortals bottom lane. And suddenly, that's the difference that we were looking for, right? Arrow and Joey with the first kill hadn't built up a lead, but now they're up 500 gold on the 80 carries. And Rosethorn goes by. It does kind of get spotted by Chad, but I don't think they actually see exactly where he is. But that is a little bit of information.
And Rosethorn doesn't spot out Chad in the process, so easy recall coming out from Chad, who can use this for that jungle tracking. As Rosethorn heads back over towards this top side, knowing that you've given Jenkins a lead. Let's utilize that lead. We're going to hop onto the Rift Herald, but Chad is still on the same quadrant.
Yeah. Oh, junglers are actually in the same spot, so I don't think Immortals is likely to go for this play right here, but I've been wrong about these kind of things before. Pretty does have the wall if he wants to try and split them up.
Chad has positioning on the eye. Can't use it for a burst, though. Down goes the Rift Herald. There's Jenkins slicing Maelstrom. It will result in Vital going down and retreat called for Immortals.
Yeah, and Jenkins is going to be the one just going right on in, finding the kill, and the eye of the Herald that was killed by Chad is not going to get picked up, so that's just going to be a clean kill going over to the side of CLG. Yeah, okay. I had to make sure that wasn't in Rosethorn's inventory. Yeah, so that's just going to be a clean kill, and we can see another 5 bottom.
Takeover. Now going after Breezy, a great pick coming through. Joey with the hostile takeover makes it come to fruition, grabbing another kill for Arrow.
That's another 2v2 kill that Arrow and Joey are able to pick up. We talked about how strong this duo lane could actually be, the Kalista plus the Renata, and Arrow and Joey are doing a fantastic job pushing around. And so far, this game is still very even. We saw that game 1 between these two squads was bang on even, and we talked about who our main characters were last time. We were looking at Pretty, we were looking at Chad, we were looking at Jenkins, we were looking at Luger, but now this is a game where suddenly Arrow and Joey are making a statement that they need to be paid attention to as well. They're somebody that you need to see a lot of focus on as we start looking towards this next dragon, because they're going to be hitting their item spikes. They're going to be super powerful in this upcoming early mid game, and I think they is something that they can look to actually snowball.
You gotta be wondering when the response can be made. So far, so good. As we take another look at that fight over by the Rift Herald and Jenkins slicing Maelstrom.
Yeah, as soon as IMT commit the ultimate from Chad onto the Herald instead of going for a fight, it's just an opportunity for the members of CLG to jump in, right? Suddenly, there's no threat. Rengar isn't going to be doing a whole lot of damage to anybody on the backline, but as the Dragon is now the focus of the map, Arrow not quite able to find his way onto either Breezy or Rosethorn, but they have control.
No, Pretty trying to get the seismic shove. Relentless pursuit coming out from Triple. As CLG starting to posture around this Dragon, looking to contend. Immortals Dragon take here. It gets leashed out from Immortals. Chad willing to jump out of that bush and right back onto the Dragon. Still no reset to come out of the Drake. Immortals are going for it right here, and I mean, you have the Kalista, so that Rend adds a lot for a smite, and there it goes. Dragon picked up, now the Weaver's Wall going to be placed. Looks to isolate Triple and Rosethorn, but wrong position, just barely a bad angle to not get them isolated into that corner. Immortals still look like they're looking for more, though, as they chase CLG right back under their turret.
There's no way. You're wild.
Oh, yeah, Chad. It's Chad.
Oh!
The Chad angle as Chad pulls Triple right back in. Breezy runs low. It's picked up by Triple. A shutdown onto Rosethorn.
I didn't think there was any threat from the Rengar, but I wasn't even thinking about what Talia was doing. Pretty catching out multiple people, because at the same time that we were looking at the Rengar, everybody on CLG was focused on Chad, and Pretty right there, once again, finding a flank by just going right up the middle, catching multiple with the seismic shove, not able to get the blue buff, but still a great play coming out from the side of Pretty once again.
The result of that is going to be some plates picked up by Arrow, as he will get some alone time with that tower and start to take their recalls, start to take their resets. 13 minutes into this, as the plates are now coming down, it is going to be a slight gold lead in favor of Immortals, thanks to that bot lane, but CLG are still getting stuff going on in the top lane, and in the mid lane, it's Immortals looking to take down Triple. He will dash away, but Pretty, you gotta pay him some respects, because he can do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage coming through. Now, as we see a whole lot more pressure going towards the bottom side of the map, one of the people that we were talking about as a supporting character with the surprise entrance towards the end of the story, Vital, had a big impact in the later stages of the game. We'll see if he can do a similar thing this time, right? Because he was down, I'd say, about this amount last game, right? When he was playing into Jenkins Gwen. But now he's doing it on the Aatrox. Aatrox is a character that doesn't necessarily have the same kind of late game resilience as a Yone will. So he needs to start making his impact felt relatively soon, and Rosethorn is committed to not letting him do it.
He's focused so much on this top side. Vital, who's been pushed underneath his tower, still very hard to dive. You need a big minion wave there. You need to get the Slice Maelstrom off early. The World Ender can heal for so much, and that's always the threat of diving onto an Aatrox. More skirmishing in the bot.
Yeah. Oh, Pretty and Chad, they're now coming behind Jenkins up in the top lane. Yeah, it's definitely a situation where, as we pay attention to the map, you're starting to see IMT, they do a lot of like poking and prodding, right? They're like, are you going to mess up? Are you going to look for an opportunity to fight us? Because we are going to take it. This is one of them. Chad's just here.
Bush right there holds a kitty cat as Jad is going to hop right onto Rosethorn. There's the Weaver's wall. Rosethorn goes down, burning his flash in the process. Chad just follows through with his flash and takes him down.
Yeah, the poking and prodding, right? Chad just sitting around waiting for an opportunity to try and pick something up, and Rosethorn falls right into his waiting arms. But the rest of the team, you know, they spent a lot of time just like spending, looking for wards, looking for people caught out at the top side of the map, potentially seeing if Jenkins is going to overextend and not respect the fact that they can be there. And eventually one of them is going to work, but at the same time, Triple looking to potentially dive this bottom.
Here we go, Triple coming in with the calling, throws it onto Arrow, sidestepping the Super Mega Death Rocket. Triple matching Arrow on the jumps, payback is not enough. Joey underneath the tier 2 tower, there's a seismic shove, it lands right onto Breezy. Joey grabs that kill. Rosethorn looking to come down to the bot lane, half health on the tower, the retreat being called for CLG. Knowing that Rosethorn is there, you do spot him out. Thanks to that Callista, now Rosethorn just using that invisibility to back out, as it is going to be a 1-for-1 exchange in the bot lane.
Yeah, Breezy having a bit of a rough game. I feel like he's getting picked on by Joey. So many of the handshakes are actually landing. This time it's a seismic shove that goes through first, but still, it's going to be an IMT favored game even after that 1-for-1. Triple starting to come alive now that the Gale Force is completed, and I feel like Triple is one of these players that we will have to pay a bit more attention to this game as well, right? We were looking at Jenkins and Luger, but now it's Triple. He's got a couple of assists. He's got his item completed. He's coming into this mid-game much stronger than most of the rest of the field, and his ability to position is going to be crucial. Okay. All right, Jenkins.
All right, Jenkins, there's no easy way out of this one. He needs to just take the tower. Oh, it's an
he's executed!
execution! Vital didn't even get damage on him.
That's rough. That is so
You're
tough.
kidding. That is so rough.
No,
man.
everybody had to expect that he got a little bit of damage down. Vital must have called out that he had at least done a little bit of damage, and there's no way he's going to be executing. Man, Jenkins is just... His cannon is nasty, man.
He's come back from the grave.
Okay.
Looking good on this Jenkins. Now here comes an engage coming out of Immortals. Joey looking for Breezy. And get the knockback. All the meanwhile, Rosethorn is focusing on this Drake. Immortals are coming. They're knocking at the door of this Drake. Weaver's wall comes out. Now the chase is on. The calling comes out. Seismic shove, not landing onto anything. Chad jumps onto Triple, but has to back out. Goes over towards the brush to try and utilize that passive. But it's IMT who get positioning onto the Drake now. They're going to try and take it away. A hostile takeover comes out. My word, Joey does a lot with it, and it's enough to take the team fight win for Immortals as Jenkins trying to clean up, but his health bar is far too low, and a seismic shove shoves him into the grave.
Yeah, cannon without an ultimate doesn't do nearly as much, but that's so much damage going across the board. Joey, like you said, the hostile takeover catches everybody during that fight, and they rip each other to shreds. Absolutely great stuff coming through for Immortals. Once again, finding themselves with 3 dragons. One more dragon necessary for the Hextech Soul, and that should put them in a dominant position to actually try and close this game. But Vital, looking for Luger. Not gonna find it.
No, Luger doesn't smell it. Is he in the shop? Is he in the shop? Oh no, Luger was in the shop, but he flashes away. Now Vital with the World Ender gets a good amount of healing. Neither want to challenge this one. Just gonna go ahead and take the truce.
Yeah, but I mean, that's still a good thing coming out, taking Luger's flash away. But again, watch the hostile takeover coming out from Joey. It's a very touch and go play, right? Chad looking for something. He almost finds triple, but then as everybody potentially looks to come right back, Joey says, nope. Why don't you guys try hitting each other instead? And just watch how they tear each other apart. The fact that Triple is doing as much damage to Viego as he did to the entire enemy team during that. And Jenkins tries to do what he can, but he's Kennen with that ultimate. What do you want him to do?
That hostile takeover was a thing of beauty. You know, at the start of the day, we were talking about Ayla's. That's another one to go on the highlight reel. Joey finding one of his own to get Immortals this lead, and Immortals are looking to push the advantage. Looking for an engage on Rosethorn, who gets rooted up, and with Arrow getting all those arrows right into the back of Rosethorn. One more rend could finish him off. There it goes. Chad able to grab the kill. It's a killing spree now for Chad. Here comes on the flank. Triple jumps in, goes after Chad. Can't finish him off. Can't get him with the calling. One more auto would do it. It's a shutdown. Weaver's wall being popped. Now Arrow trying to make haste. Gets pushed back. Triple, that seismic shove from Pretty, too good. One more rock to the face, and Triple gets rocked. Immortals are here. Jenkins shows up to just clean up one kill, but the rest of his team has been decimated.
It's like the exact same play we just saw. One person on CLG is still alive. Jenkins doesn't have his ultimate to take down anybody else. And it just feels like IMT are setting the tone of this game. Chad just goes in. He's staying alive for so much longer with this lethal tempo plus Divine Sunder style of build. He's got the Renata on his side to keep him alive with the bailout. And when you're able to do that and just create this front line, it allows Arrow and Brady to put out all the DPS necessary.
Another look at this one. They thought the engage wasn't going through, but they didn't realize Chad was waiting.
Yeah, I mean, Chad was just sitting around, and look how much HP he's effectively able to have between his W with the bailout, with Joey sitting there giving him the locket as well. They're able to just play this out really effectively, and eventually you just see Pretty making another play on this Talia. It feels like he's constantly catching people with the seismic shove, getting the stuns down, and once you have that kind of pressure, you can just catch everybody you need to, and even Vital gets a little piece of the action.
I want to point out a little bit on Arrow over there, who's able to sidestep one shuriken. That forced Jenkins to use the Slicing Maelstrom, so he couldn't even use it to try and clean up the later half of that fight. Now, it's the small plays like that, but it's so hard to lock down a Kalista with skill shots when she's jumping all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, Jenkins hasn't necessarily been in the right place for a lot of these fights thus far. That's something that CLG need to try and figure out. They're taking a lot of these skirmishes, but they're doing it a little bit undermanned. Somebody's not there. This person doesn't have their flash. Jenkins doesn't have his ultimate, and that's the kind of thing that can really turn some of these games that are otherwise so close.
All right, the zap lands on the Joey, so you get a slow. Finishing him off. Oh, Arrow, the Kalista ultimate throws Joey right back in. Hostile takeover. It's only going to land onto one, and it's breezy. Not that much damage lost, but Rosethorn caught out with the crowd control, pulling in another one. Triple falls, and
Jenkins?
Immortals are able to claim two, but here comes Jenkins. Slicing Maelstrom, looking to find a good team fight. So much damage coming out, but no one to fall. The side of Immortals instead. They slay Jenkins and walk right on out.
The idea was good. Jenkins tries to go in. They're looking for the first kill. Ooh, Arrow. Got to be a little bit careful there. But they try and find the first kill to allow Luger to reset, but they just don't. The damage just isn't there. And now they're going to be able to pick up the Baron. And just like we saw last game, they can translate the Baron into the upcoming Hextech. They have the Baron recalls. They're back so fast, and they get back on the map with the Hextech gates. Feels like Immortals have been a master at this, picking up one objective and recalling in time. But this time, Immortals, they try and find a play. They have Chad running in, and they just separate the members. They pick people off one at a time. And when you catch people like this, it doesn't matter if you hit with the Slicing Maelstrom. There's just not enough damage left.
Such a good ultimate out of Jenkins, but as you said, Josh, put expertly, not enough damage left. Chad has some damage, though, and he brings it right to Rosethorn. Vital's going to grab that kill, and another Dragon Soul picked up by Immortals.
Hextech Soul going over towards Immortals is absolutely nuts. They were behind in gold last time, but this time they're up in gold. They have the Soul, and they're looking to dive.
Well, the root comes in from the Bola strike, pulling in Breezy, the chain of CC. That was nasty, man. Doing the poor Lulu like that as Chad jumps in, but Vital gets cut down. It's a shutdown coming in from Luger, who gets slowed, can't even enjoy the get excited as Jenkins with another seismic shove. Pretty is landing, he's right on the money, and he's gonna find another one. Thanks to Chad hopping over the Bola strike.
Oh,
Another
God.
seismic shove. Pretty, cut it out, man. You're turning this place into a mosh pit, shoving people left and right.
You asked me who I thought was next for LCS. It's got to be Pretty. He is 9-0-8. I don't think I've seen him miss a seismic shove all game long. Constantly looking for these opportunities to pick people off, and now they're lining up 4v2 to potentially try and end the game. Oh, they find
Going
another one.
for the game-ending play, another seismic shove, cap them all up. The Nexus Tower going down. Nexus Tower number 1. Death timer still long for triple, and the teleports are coming through. This is going to be done and dusted. An attempted last stand coming out from CLG as they're going to get the slicing maelstrom off. They're going to be able to defend. It's so low, but it's not enough. Immortals 2-0 to start off the summer.
CLG were looking scary at the beginning, right? You look at their roster on paper, you got a lot of talent coming through on this team, but it doesn't seem like it's paid off just yet. You gotta wait for everyone to come in. You got Kevy coming in for Rosethorn. You got Meech coming in for Luger. That's gonna be what the final version of this roster looks like. But right now, it's all Immortals. Chad, Pretty, Vital, Arrow, Joey, they're stepping up when they need to. They're fighting the picks, and oh my god, Pretty on this Talia looks so clean. Landed every single W he could look for, found the stuns, locked people down, and just bursted them with the rest of the team.
Pretty's just damn good, man. Pretty's just damn good in both games, Josh. In game number 1 on the LeBlanc, game number 2 on the Talia, Pretty showed up. We are going to throw it over to short break. Sierra will take over right after with an interview, so be sure to stay tuned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm here for the Verizon post-game interview, and I'm sitting down here with pretty mid laner for Immortals. First off, congratulations on the 2-0 win, but I have to ask first, because I heard in the green room you were talking about fighting somebody, taking someone in a fight. What is going on?
You heard wrong. You heard wrong. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. I'm
Oh,
just happy for the
oh,
win.
okay. I'll pretend I didn't hear anything. What happens in the green room stays in the green room. So then we're just starting off the summer split here. Were you up to anything fun during the summer other than League of Legends before heading into Academy this year?
Mm, not much. Not much. Yeah. Just like we didn't have that big of a break. Maybe like 5-6 weeks. Because we went pretty deep in proving ground. So yeah, we didn't get that much time and like figuring everything out with the team. Like we changed top laner and there was like a lot of stuff happening. We changed coach as well. So until you figure that out, you end up with like a few weeks left and you just want to like get yourself off the game, and then once that time passes, you instantly have to go back to scrims and preparing and all of that. So just like time to chill off from league and refresh for the next split. That's all.
That makes sense. Not too much time to really get to relax when you have new players, new coach. How has that experience been? Because even just playing with new players today, such as Vital, you have Arrow coming in. How has that been transitioning them into the team and working on just the whole team overall as a whole?
Well, Arrow has not been a good new player for me. We played together at the start of last season, and we spent a lot of time together talking about the game. So it's very natural playing with him, and it's very easy. Like I enjoyed a lot. Vital, on the other hand, like actually a lot of people will not know this, but I didn't scrim with this team because Power of Evil, he's getting his green card right now. So I've been subbing in for LCS scrims, and I only played 4 games yesterday with the academy team. So I basically just like played my 5th game and 6th game with my team, and we kind of just had to like roll with it, and we didn't prepare any drafts. We just picked whatever we thought would be the best, and tried to play the best, and you know it has been weird. We didn't like prepare at all, but it's cool. It's cool that we win. It means that we have something good going on.
Yeah, if all of a sudden these teams are putting in this crazy practice and you're coming out here like, okay, I didn't really get too much chance to play with you guys, but things are going good. And after the performance you had today, I mean, that says a lot about the strengths of the team and just your strengths as a player. So, that being said, what have you been working on for yourself to try and become the best player that you can be? What can we maybe expect coming out from you for Summer Split?
Um, just working on my strengths and like trying to be better like in all of the aspects of the game. Um, in the previous team, in the last split team, I mean, I had the bigger role of like a shot caller and having to communicate a lot and like talk, make plans, and even micromanage people sometimes. But this split, it will be a bit less on me and like more on Joy and Arrow coming in. People don't know that he talks a lot in game, and he's very experienced, and he brings a lot to the team in terms of that. So that will help me focus a bit more on like my stuff, like mechanics, all of that stuff. So I think it would be that.
Are you relieved to maybe get to take a step back from shot caller then just focus on yourself?
For sure, for sure. I thought that last split maybe I put too much weight on myself on that because I felt like that was the best for our team to win and to do the best. But I feel like this split, our roster also, it is more important for my team and for myself to have like this different role because, like I said, last split we didn't have Aro at least at the end of it, and him coming in now relieves a lot of pressure of me and like Joey. Us two were the ones who talk the most. Like everyone talks, obviously, but I guess we were the ones who just talk the most. And for sure, I think both of us will have like easier time just playing the game, focusing on ourselves.
Well, now that you get that time to actually just focus on yourself, obviously winning in academy is always nice, but do you have any of your own personal goals that you would like to get out of this summer split in academy?
And of course, always the goal is to get to LCS. By winning proving grounds, that's the best shot you're gonna take, because when your team looks good, you're gonna look better as well. So it's very important to win as a team. with how the whole structure, the whole academy is structured. So that's very important to me, and like I hope like every one of my teammates and myself, and like we will get to LCS. I see, even though I didn't play for a long time, like with like Vital, I see like a very promising player in him, and he has like, I mean, you saw what he did game one. I don't need to say much, but I mean, I know the rest of my teammates. I know that we can reach that level, and I think that's the goal for myself and for everyone in the team.
Well, with how you played today, especially, I definitely you played absolutely correct. So I definitely think that is a great goal and one that hopefully get to see you accomplish sooner rather than later. I'll let you go shortly though, but before that, I'll let you have the floor if there's anything you'd like to say to the fans, any shout outs that you might have.
Just shout out to my teammates. They've been great. We played very well today. I'm just happy to start with a win. And like Josh Dardok, he did a very good job on draft today. Maybe not the first game, but yeah, the second game. I mean, we got, for people who didn't watch a lot, like maybe there's not enough like competitive, but getting Talia is like just insta win, and especially if like you have good players playing it. So yeah, like everybody in my team did well today, and we have more games tomorrow and the day after. We gotta win those as well.
Well, best of luck heading into tomorrow. And thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. Have a good rest of your night.
Thank you so much, guys. You too.
Thank you. As for us, we're going to head back over to the desk to wrap things up with Joshi and Desiree to end off the first day of summer split here. It was a fun one, guys. Desiree, this is our first time on Academy. How are you feeling after getting to the end of the day?
I'm feeling good. I've been on Academy before, but I haven't been on this version of Academy that's boomed up since the spring. And it is an exciting experience seeing everything that's going on, seeing how close and personal just the production crew and the casters have gotten with the players to produce the content that has been produced by people like Joshi right here. It makes me excited for the future. And with the first two games out of the way, the first two series out of the way, I'm aching for more on day 2.
I mean, won't have to wait too long because there'll be some exciting games tomorrow. Joshi, stay back on Academy. It's been a good one. How are you feeling heading into summer?
Look, I'm just shocked that Pretty is just like ready to throw hands with coaches at this point, right? He just starts off, we hear some things in the green
we
room,
said what happens in the green room stays in the green room, okay?
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
he's like, yeah, Dark did a great job drafting, except for the first game. So, there's just like, he's just ready to go. This guy's coming through. He's throwing hands on the Rift, throwing hands IRL pretty soon, too. This is a great start. We're already getting the content necessary to put out. I am so excited because I think this really could be the season of Pretty. This meta is perfect for him. He's setting up. He's looking fantastic on his first day, and he's going to have some opportunities to play with like the LCS squad, right? While he waits for PoE to come in, he'll have opportunities to play.
Now, I want to take this position away from you for a moment, Sierra. I am now the host. Sierra, how does it feel on your first day of Academy? Go ahead and share it with us.
All right. Hello, first off, Coach Ezrex. I really hope this means I don't have to cast the games, because that might be worrisome for everybody involved here. I know this has been a lot of fun. I mean, just being able to sit down, watch some good League of Legends. I love being able to talk to the players as well. I think that's really interesting because we get to see like what's happening behind the scenes of their journey, and then getting to sit down and watch them actually accomplish some of these things, see how they're coming out here hitting the Rift. It makes me excited to see what journeys we're going to get to follow going into summer, because this is just a little taste. This is a little snippet of what's to come. We get to see that Pretty's doing absolutely amazing today. We get to see the Team Liquid came out here and dominated. That's just the first little step. There's so much more, especially as these players grow. I think that's amazing. It's exciting. I feel like that's the best part of Academy. Is that a good answer,
As we start to look towards it.
I was thinking some dead air for Joshi. All right, Sierra. Now you can have your host position back. I am back to the play-by-play. But yeah, us being the new 2 players, of course, got to hear that input there.
All right. Well, since I get to take my host spot back, Joshi, I cut you off. I would love to hear what you have to say here.
Oh, that's good. No, I'm just saying, as you start looking towards the rest of it, right, you already talked about some of the teams that have a quick 2-0. I heard there was a couple other 2-0s on the other stream as well, but we still have more like Academy stuff going on over there. So don't forget, just because we have 2 matches done here on Path to LCS doesn't mean that Academy's done. We got 5 matches every day.
Love that call out, and that's a great reminder. So make sure to check out Academy for anything that you might be missing. As well, make sure to tune in to Path to LCS and Academy tomorrow for more matches. As Joshi said, there are matches every day. We got so much great Academy stuff for everybody. And with how things were going today, these 2-0s, you know that these teams are going to be hungry to come back out here tomorrow for redemption. You can check out Path to LCS and Academy for all of that. We got the schedule there so you can pick out what matches you have to make sure that you are sitting in your seat for. Desrex, it's going to be a great day.
It is going to be a great day. And tomorrow we get a little bonus serving of Academy because we're going to be on the A stream, which means we get an additional match.
That does. I talked about B stream, best stream tomorrow. Only tomorrow, not today. Tomorrow, A stream, awesome stream. Just because us 3 get to be there. So it should be a lot of fun. But as we're looking to wrap up today, is there any I want to give you both the floor. Any final thoughts that you have before we wrap up the broadcast and try and see what we can watch from Academy for ourselves? Joshi, I'll start with you.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see it with the rest of this rest of the week. I always love watching Team Liquid's games and seeing that Spawn is saying they're just coming here to dominate everybody on the Rift. I think that we're in for a big treat from them. They were our uncontested best team towards the end of Proving Grounds, and I feel like if they continue firing back like this against a team that was starting to challenge them towards the top 4, we're going to get to see a fantastic roster, potentially just breeze through and even potentially have LCS berths towards the end of the season.
I love it. Desrex, any final thoughts from you before we wrap this thing up?
My final thoughts are more to the viewers than anything. Tuning into Academy, this is North American Developmental. It's great to see. Don't forget that we have North American Amateur, that there's the Proving Grounds going on, the circuits for those. Eventually, both Academy and Proving Grounds come together for the final Proving Grounds tournament. There's going to be a lot of storylines and a lot of excitement. The very first Proving Grounds was won by an amateur team. So it's always fun to see what the amateur teams are going to bring. And, of course, watching this Academy season go through and seeing what the Academy teams are preparing for Proving Grounds. That's the most dear thing to my heart. So I always want to make sure our viewers are, looking towards any amateur as well as any academy.
Yeah, because those players are the ones that could be here playing on these academy teams, and we will be one day. So exactly. Love how that all comes together. As we wrap things up, thank you for production being amazing. Thank you two for making my first day here on Academy absolutely amazing. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you to the viewers for tuning in, hyping up these players as they take on their matches today. Cannot wait to see you tomorrow for another great day of Academy. But until then, we hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night.